Google My Business, from dodging creditors to making bigger bank deposits. Get your phone ringing. Get more customers. Get more sales. Brand your business. Establish brand social presence by Paul Fussell. Narrated by Mark J. Ryan. Copyright by ProBiz Marketing and Consultant. All rights reserved. Copyright by ProBiz Marketing and Consultant. All rights reserved. Disclaimer. While all attempts have been made to verify the information provided within this publication, neither the author nor the publisher assumes any responsibility for errors, omissions, or contrary interpretations on subject matters herein. This book is for entertainment purposes only. The views are those of the author alone and should not be taken as expert instruction. The reader is responsible for their own actions. Adherence to all applicable laws and regulations, including international, federal, state, and local governing professional licensing, business practices, advertising, and all other aspects of doing business in the United States, Canada, or any other jurisdiction, is the sole responsibility of the reader or purchaser. Neither the author or the publisher assumes any responsibility or liability whatsoever on the behalf of the purchaser or the reader of these materials. Paul Fussell. Forward. This book is written to identify technical information and how to use it. It is written as if you were in front of us on a computer. It is meant to be user-friendly. There may be terminology or technical terms you don't understand. An attempt has been made to explain them. There is a short glossary at the end of the written book to help. If you find words you don't understand, feel free to contact us via email and we will be happy to help. This book is very focused on helping businesses with their number one problem, that of getting more customers and being noticed above the millions of other competing businesses. There are many ways to stay in the game of competition, such as running digital media ads, ads on Google, YouTube, Facebook, banner ads on websites, and even print ads. The problem with these methods is that they are not consistent, especially if you are not familiar with the many different ad platforms. Those ads are costly and are short-term solutions. If you knew that in 30 days your business could increase the number of prospect customers by 100%, you would dance all the way to the bank. If you could find a way to advertise to your customers and prospects free of charge for the next 30 days, you would get up early to be the first in line. If you could answer all those questions and the results last for a year, you would invest 45 minutes to read this book before your next meal, just to bring success home to your business. You don't need a degree or learn how to code. The answer is plainly written in the next few pages, so even a novice can understand the solution for their business. Paul Fussell. Chapter 1. Learning to use Google to prosper over your competition. Are you in business? Does your business need more calls, customers, or sales? Would you like your business to provide more income for your family? If you answered yes to the last two questions, by the time you finish the first chapter of this book, you will have the solution that answers these two questions that works in as little as 7 days in any city, in any country. Recently, I asked a handyman service why he wasn't working full-time. He was punctual and did excellent work. He said he was on Angie's list, but he just wasn't getting enough calls. After a short evaluation on his online presence, I told him, even though you are on Angie's list, Home Advisor, and you are buying ads on Yelp, you are missing a very critical secret to having 5 times the amount of calls you are currently getting. He could hardly wait. What is it? He queried. I told the handyman he was missing the endorsement that would give him credibility in any house worldwide. Now, this statement may seem braggadocious until you hear the source. I told Jim the handyman that he would receive this endorsement free of charge and actually have these repetitive recommendations for him every time a handyman was needed in his area. Jim was skeptical, and he said, "But I've only been in town 2 years. How do I compete against all other handymen that have lived here all their life?" Jim, you simply take advantage of someone all of your customers and future customers already know and trust. Let this source recommend you and advertise for you for free every day, 7 days a week, and your credibility will outshine every other handyman for miles around. Jim is screaming at me now. "Enough already. How do I get this endorsement? And I'll bet it ain't free." I said, "Jim, I've written a book to explain how to do this, and you can have an expert do it for you while you work." Jim said, "I don't understand. I don't do computer stuff. Besides, I'm too busy making a living. Just make it happen." 3 weeks later, Jim called exclaiming, "Enough already. I'm booked for the next 4 months. Roger the plumber called and said, "Jim told me to call you. What's this all about?" 2 weeks later, I saw Roger at a ball game, and he said, "Man, whatever you're doing, keep it going. I had to get an answering service. My phone rings constantly, and I've hired 2 more plumbers just to keep up." Sasha, the nail salon spa owner, called and said, "I had to tell Roger to go home. He was so excited he told me I had to read your book." "What in blazes is going on?" He said, "You could fill every chair in my salon every day I was open. What's up with that?" Sasha bought the book and said, "Fill my chairs." She called late last night and said, "I still can't believe that in the last 14 days I haven't had an empty chair, and I can fill my no-shows in 5 minutes. I'm so happy. Your girlfriend gets a free spa day." Howard called and said, "Look, I've had this auto repair shop for 18 years. Every summer my clients go home, and I can barely pay the light bill until they return in the fall. My business is seasonal, but I'm set up to work year-round. Can you help me?" I asked how many calls a week he was receiving concerning new work, and he said about 17. I asked how many calls he needed to pay the monthly bills. He answered 20 calls a week. For the first time in 18 years, Howard has every bay in his shop full, and he now receives 68 calls in the same time. A call was destined to come. Will your secret sauce work for a larger business or just smaller ones? The secret will work for anyone who is in business, period. From the pet sitter to the roofer, from the home accountant to the contractor, to the pool cleaner, to the auto dealer, from the chain store to the lemonade stand. Big or small, new or established, you will now have an advantage over the competition. There's only one question left. Are you prepared to get there before the crowd finds out what you are doing? There's a small Midwestern town with a population of less than 5,000. There were 2 car dealerships in Okta. One was Chevy, the other was Ford. The Chevy dealer was newer, bigger, and sold more cars. Both had been in business about the same amount of time. The Chevy dealer went out of business first because they refused to listen to what their customers wanted and relied on, "That's the way we always did it." Chevy did not incorporate the secret. Ford did. The Ford dealer went on to be the top dealership in the entire southern part of the state. Before you say this was a hokey small-town error, let's look at history. 30 years ago, Sears and J.C. Penney were the 2 largest catalog sellers on the planet. Either one could have easily been way ahead of Amazon in online sales. Both refused to acknowledge what the customer wanted and repeated the mistake the Chevy dealership employed, to their demise. Neither used the secret, but if they did, they both could have still made a comeback. How did Walmart and Target put Sears and J.C. Penney in the tank? They both currently use the same marketing secrets you will learn. Before this chapter is finished, you will see how the secret will definitely work for you, even if you have a home ceramic mug business, a pet toenail business, a wedding service, a cafe, a bookshop, a contracting business, a trucking business, a franchise, or a special welding shop, or whatever business you want to promote. Every one of the individuals mentioned previously came to us with the same question: how do we get more calls, more customers, and more people through the door? We had the same answer for every one of them. Let us take a look at your online presence. Take the auto repair shop on the main frontage road of the freeway. Bill, the owner, asked me what we could do to get more phone calls for his business. Even though he had good visibility where his shop was located, he just wasn't getting many phone calls. He wanted to make excuses for his situation by saying, "I don't have a website, and it's the worst time of the year for my business." We had not completed an evaluation of his online presence yet, but I pretty much knew what the problem was. We had proven it time after time in every business imaginable. I told him, "None of that matters, Bill." He responded, "What? What do you mean? I don't need a website." I said, "I'm not going to tell you that you don't need a website. That would help, but that's not your problem." Bill then said, "So I just have to live with it being the worst time of the year?" I said, "No, that's not the problem either." "Then what is the answer?" Bill asked. "Bill, would you agree with me if I said, if no one can see you, if no one knows where you're located, why would anybody call you?" Bill blasted back in defense. "I've got the best visibility anybody could afford here on the frontage road of the freeway, right next to an exit." I told Bill, "Yes, you are right when it comes to the real estate. It couldn't be better." "Well then, what do you mean about not being seen?" he asked. "What kind of real estate do you have online? Where can your business be seen online? Do you run any ads online?" I asked. "No, I don't," Bill replied. "Bill, I can tell without looking to see what kind of presence you have online, why you are not getting many calls for your business." "But I run some ads in the Penny Saver, and I bought an ad on the local restaurant menu," Bill added. I asked Bill in a way that was not demeaning, "So how's that working for you?" "I get a few calls," Bill said. "Seriously, Bill, if you want the same results that we've been getting for all the businesses we consult with, I would tell you to do the very first thing every business needs, and that is get a business page on Google now." "Oh, I don't know anything about that. I barely know how to turn on the computer to order parts." "I don't know how to do that," Bill said. "Well, Bill, times have changed. Malls are shrinking by the year. The reason is people shop on their mobile devices or computer. If they need a mechanic such as you, they search on the phone from where they are broken down. If they find you, they have the tow truck bring you their vehicle. Obviously, they cannot drive by on the freeway to locate you, so hire an expert who knows how to build your GMB page," I said. "Why can't I hire you? You obviously know what you're talking about," Bill implored. I said, "You can." Bill then asked what everyone in business asks, "So how much is this going to cost me?"